The Toronto Raptors might be an 11th seed with nothing to play for but draft position, but that doesn't diminish the satisfaction of watching the Suns impose their will tonight. In every phase, in every way. This wasn't just a win, it was a reminder, a reset, proof that dominance is still within them, even if it's been buried beneath the inconsistency and frustration this season. It doesn't course correct this season, but it does recenter my soul a tad. We needed this one. Not because it salvages the season or rewrites the narrative, but because it reconnects us with the essence of why we care, why we invest our time, our energy, our emotions, why we endure the gut punches and the letdowns. Beating the shit out of the Raptors felt cathartic, but more than that, it was an affirmation that joy can still exist in the journey. That when this team clicks, when they dictate every moment on the court, it stirs something deep. And for those of us who wear our passion openly, who feel every high and low in our bones, basking in that unfiltered joy, even for a night, is everything. So as we take a look at this game tonight, know that it all comes through the lens of that filter, that we know this isn't a good team the Suns beat. Devin Booker had a good game. Kevin Durant had a good game. The Suns had a good game. The rookies had a good game. And you can diminish that by simply saying and dismissing it. And by simply saying, it's the Raptors. Doesn't matter. And that's okay. That's your right. You can do that. But you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to enjoy this one because I know there's not much enjoyment left this season. This has been a crap season. And for one night in downtown Phoenix, the Suns beat the living shit out of the Raptors. So I'm going to enjoy it on this here podcast. Welcome to the Suns Jam Session. My name is John Voida, managing editor, Bright Side of the Sun. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, hit that thumbs up button if you do feel so inclined to do so. And happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Don't you know? I'm going to be drinking me one of these nice little Guinnesses here. So pop them if you got them, Suns fans. And let's talk about this victory. Oh, Matthew's at the arena, so he might pop in. But let's talk about this victory over the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
That's right, Jamsters. A 40-point victory over the Toronto Raptors in this one. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels nice to go out there and just TCOB, to take care of business, to enjoy a game, and not have to worry about it in any capacity. Yeah, the Suns were down, I think, 7 early, but after a 39-11 outburst in the second quarter, there was no coming back from that for Toronto. And thankfully, the Suns didn't let them come back. That's the key in this one. They didn't let them come back. When was it over? Yeah, this one was over in the second quarter, 39-11. Devin Booker goes 4 of 7 from the field, scores 13 points in that quarter. You get 9 points from Tyus Jones, 8 from Royce O'Neal. The team shoots 7 of 11 from beyond the arc. Toronto only shoots 1 of 3 from deep. Toronto shoots 16.7% from the field, while the Suns shoot 60% from the field. I mean, this was a fun one. This was a fun one to watch and to see the Suns take care of business, do what we feel like they should have been doing all year long. And there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. There's a lot of different lenses you can see this through. And again, the primary lens is we know that Toronto's not good and they want to lose. They're not going to tell you, but they want to lose. They're trying to get in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. So winning doesn't benefit them. And that's okay. That's okay for Phoenix because, again, we need to see this. we need to feel it's been a rough 24 hours after that Lakers game, and some of the things that Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo and Stephen A. Smith and Bob Myers said about the team. I mean, we all know who Phoenix is, and we're disappointed with the way they play. But man, on a national level, it's been, they are exposed, if you will, and it's frustrating to see the way that they're being covered, but also it's rightfully so. Like, nobody's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, the Suns aren't the Suns don't deserve that." No, they've deserved every ounce of that. That's kind of been the issue with Phoenix thus far this season. Now, that being said, you take a look at some fun stats in this one, and this is an interesting one.
Ooh, dang, stat me.
The Suns won by 40 points tonight. 40. It is now the 13th total time that the Suns have won by 40 points or more in the history of the organization. And the last time they won by 40 points or more, February 17th, 2009. The Nash era. Damn. That's all I got. Damn. It's been quite some time since they've done that, So again, it's a satisfying win on a lot of different levels because the youth movement kind of drove it, right?
Ready to erupt on that one. Would have tied it.
One. I meant to hit the done one. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. So Ryan Dunn once again gets the start in this game. He's 7 of 16 from the field. He shoots the most shots in this game, but 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, 17 points, 6 rebounds, a block shot, and just again that energy that is infectious and that youthful exuberance that this team has been missing for the majority of the season. But you see him out there. You see Colin Gillespie, who gets the start in this game. Bradley Beal injured again, right? Hamstring injury, reevaluated in a week. Like, the season's done for Beal. And I have a whole dissertation I want to talk about eventually when it comes to what we need to do with Bradley Beal. I don't know if tonight's the night where I talk about waving and stretching him and what the implications of that could be, short-term, long-term. It's a piece I'll be publishing on Bright Side of the Sun sometime this week, but it's definitely a conversation worth exploring. But you get Colin Gillespie out there. You get Ryan Dunn out there. And you see a couple of players who take pride in playing full-court defense, who take pride in pressure. And that has been the challenge with this team the majority of the season, is they lack the ability to create disruption. And Dunn, although offensively, he's not a threat consistently. He's a disruptor on the defensive end. Seeing him go 7 of 16, 43.8% from the field, that's good. I mean, I don't know if I'm comfortable necessarily with him taking that many shots, but this team was up as much as they were. So it's understandable as to why. I also think there was a lot of deferment from both Booker and Kevin Durant in this game because they saw that Dunn was playing and finding the spaces appropriately, and they were hitting him on the passes and getting him into situations where he could be successful. So take advantage of that. But to see both him and Colin Gillespie play with pride on the defensive end is something that it gives you a glimmer of hope, right? It's why you have a little bit of faith that next season will be a lot more fun than this season, because you can use a lot of superlatives, you can use a lot of adjectives to describe this season. Fun is not one of them. And so perhaps next season will be a little bit more fun because we will see more Ryan Dunn. Colin Gillespie, I've been impressed with him this whole season. And this is also a challenge at the end of the year, right? Anytime we see anybody play a little, well, that's the answer. He's the answer next year. Same thing with like Cody Martin. Like, Cody Martin plays good defense. I enjoyed watching Cody Martin play tonight. His final stat line, let me pull it up here. 19 minutes, 1 of 6 from the field. Yikes. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. Yikes. But he had 3 steals. He had 6 assists. He had 4 rebounds. Disruption. Now, obviously, Cody Martin is going to be gone next year. I mean, he's one of those guys who you brought here when you broke up the Nurkic contract, and you knew that you were going to waive him next season to try to get as close as you can to getting out of the second cap hell that you currently live in. But that being said, again, Gillespie and Dunn, impressed. On the season, Ryan Dunn is shooting 48% on non-restricted paint shots, which is like floaters over big defenders. He's got great touch moving towards the basket on those shots, and something that's going to continue to develop. And that's what we have to look forward to the remainder of this season, is his development, is Oso Ighodoro's development. Where is it? Bam.
Oh. You know what I'm talking about.
Oso Ighodoro. Man, Oso came in off the bench, was 4 of 6 from the field. He had 9 points. He had 10 rebounds. He was a plus 39 in this game. Plus 39. Just sick nasty. Again, youth. Sick nasty. Burying him on the bench has been a crime by Mike Budenholzer. A crime. For those of you who beat the drum of Fire Bud, that's one thing you can wonder. Like, investigate this man. There's reasons for it, and there's matchups and whatnot. But he's such a good passer, and he processes the game and makes reads that most centers can't. So there's always going to be a place for him in this league, so it might as well be here in Phoenix. I enjoy seeing him play the way that he played tonight, and I look forward to seeing his continued development through the remainder of the season into the next season, because basketball IQ is so vital to success in this league. He doesn't make poor decisions. He has sneaky athleticism. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of size, but he has sneaky athleticism. And what has this team lacked all season? Athleticism. He provides it. He has the ability to be somewhat of a shot deterrer as well. He's not going to be Mutombo out there, but he'll get a block shot or two. He'll surprise you with that. And that's fun to watch. And so those are the things that you can take away from a game like this, where you're not playing the greatest of competition, but they're potential building blocks. You play Chicago next, and you might feel good after that. Then the gauntlet really begins, right? Like, then it's just a shit show. Those final 12 games are just a nightmare. And we'll forget nights like tonight. So remember nights like tonight when you start to think of next season. A lot of positivity, a lot of fun. But even in a 40-point win, we can't all be happy, can we?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Big Dick Booker.
This is where, for those of you who do not live on the socials, I envy you. Booker tonight, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 27 points. In that second quarter, as I mentioned earlier, he had 13 points. He was cooking. He was cooking the Raptors. The shit Raptors he was cooking. And this is where I just got, I couldn't enjoy tonight because of the, I tweeted something out. I'm like, look at Booker, man. Like, Booker's really kicking some ass out there. And of course, you just have every KD stan ever come and be like, it's the Raptors. Some of the, it always comes from these accounts that have funny names, like at Slim Reaper 1735 and at KD, I love you 3127. And just the way that they get frustrated with the fact that I and other people are posting that Booker's playing well. It's ridiculous. I tweeted out that Booker's playing like a franchise cornerstone tonight. He was in the second quarter. He looked really, really good. And of course, the KD stands just come. They come with their pitchforks. And so I double down, and I say it, and this is true. Booker playing well makes KD stand so angry. And it's one reason I'll be okay with trading KD this offseason is so that flock of Suns haters can fly away with him. Because they get just like blinders. Like if I say Devin Booker's playing good, it's not that I'm saying Kevin Durant is playing bad. But for some reason they take it personal. Would Booker be performing like this for a contender? Just wondering. Playing well against who? This dude disappear when there's a must-win games. Y'all the one who gives KD no credit. KD could score 30, the team won, and y'all never say shit, but wait until the team lose to talk shit. Like that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Nothing. Nothing. We're winning. And it's like, well, when we win and KD plays well, you don't shout him out. It's like, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, thanks for showing that you'd never follow me. My response, clearly don't read my writing or listen to the pod. So, and I will say this, and this is probably what spurred them on a little bit, is I had a post where I said, Suns ball movement in the second quarter looks pristine. And to that point, Kevin Durant has played 0 points. Is this a coincidence? Oh, that set them off. And that's my fault. I was poking a little bit, but I was just wondering. I'm like, what do you guys think? Let me hear. Oh, man. Because KD played great tonight, too. Everybody played great in this game. Yet for some reason, people can't be happy unless their guy is getting all the accolades. Their guy has to be the one and only reason why this team won tonight. And if it's not, then Kevin Durant had 14 points tonight, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc. He had 3 assists. He had 3 rebounds. Did have the 4 turnovers, but he only played 26 minutes tonight. That's fantastic. That's what we've been wanting all fucking season. We want these KD games where he comes in, he's super efficient, doesn't have to play a ton of minutes. Boom, and we win by 40 fucking points. Like, sign me up for that all day long. But God forbid you say that Devin Booker's having a good game. You're not dissing KD. You're just saying Booker's having a good game. And the KD stands just can't stand for that. And yeah, that's why I'm like, dude, if we trade KD, peace. It's going to suck to lose Kevin Durant because of the amazing scorer that he is and how easy he can get a bucket. And in a perfect system, if you build around him, that's all he has to do. You don't have to lean on him for 40 minutes a night. You shouldn't have to. Kevin Durant's going to be 37 years old next year. It's a disservice to him to lean into him for 40 minutes a night. Put a better team around him. Don't give me Bradley Beal, who plays 67% of all the games and has a $50 million contract that's a no-trade clause. That's something that can be gone and used as a building block. The front office failed KD. I've said that over and over again. But, oh, God forbid you mention Booker had a good night. Oh, man. Get fucked. Seriously. Just drives me crazy to see. And, people, oh, man, this is my favorite one where people are like, oh, dude, essentially just call me a racist because I said KD stands. I'm looking forward to them all leaving. What? Like, what? People are nuts, man. Social media is toxic. Stay off that shit. Johnny Dang in the chat, $4.99 in the super chat. So thank you, Johnny, for that. Truly appreciate you supporting the podcast and by donating. Can you give an example of what you like to see the Suns get back in a KD trade? Grateful for this pod. We appreciate you for it. I appreciate you. I'll go on record as of right now. Again, this could change. We have 3 months until this could potentially happen. But I'll go on right now saying if there's any world we can get rid of Bradley Beal, whether it's a wave and stretch or you can find a home for him, you do that and you build around KD and Book. That's where I'm standing. And I know some people disagree with that. And that's fine. We all have our opinion on that. And I find that acceptable to have an opinion on that, at least in my eyes. And who cares what I think? But if you were to trade Kevin Durant, it's you hopefully get some picks out of it, a couple picks and a couple players. That's what I want. A serviceable foundational players. And hopefully you have a say in who those players are. And you get some dogs, man. Like, because why did we win tonight? Because the Suns had some dog in them. They had some fight. They had some grit. Colin Gillespie, Ryan Dunn, Oso Iguodaro, KD, Book, everybody up and down the lineup was playing aggressive, and that's what you need. That's what you need. And we see it night in, night out. It helps to have youthful players. So you don't trade. What the Suns did is they traded Chris Paul, who's old, for Bradley Beal, who's not as old, but injury prone, so less available. When you traded Kevin Durant, you gave up all your youth to bring in an older player. Now you're trying to pigeonhole it. You're trying to hit this window, right? It's like in Star Wars. You're going down into the Death Star and you're trying to hit that, 2-meter window. And if you could get it right in there, it's going to go right to the center of the Death Star and blow it up. But we missed. The shot was taken and just flew out into space. We've missed. So now you have to rethink your strategy. And what do we see when we play against Memphis and OKC and Houston? Youth, right? Athleticism, defense, connectivity. Those are things you need to target. You need to target a specific type of individual. Now, James Jones, to his credit, when drafting, has hit more than he's missed on that kind of individual. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jalen Smith, meh. But Tumani Kamara, he hit on that one. Ryan Dunn seems to hit on that one. So you target those type of archetypes who already exist in the NBA, and then you get a couple picks out of it, and you try to, kind of continue building from an ancillary standpoint through that method. But you have to look at the teams that are being successful in the league right now and say, what do they possess that we don't? And you know what it is? Defense. All of them possess defense. The Suns, they don't. Period. Exclamation point. Tonight, they look good. They only had 10 turnovers. I mean, Toronto only had 12. This wasn't a sloppy game. This is a game in which the Suns shot the lights out. They were 20 of 39 from beyond the arc. That's 51.3%. And Toronto was 28% from beyond the arc and shot 35% for the game. The Suns shot 51% from the game. I mean, they just outshot them. So, the Kevin Durant situation, we'll see what happens this upcoming offseason. But the moment that you start playing the phones and you just start telling everybody how great Bradley Beal is. He smiles. He loves to smile. He's got a no-trade clause in his contract. It makes him smile every day. You do everything you can to try to sell anybody on that. And then if you can, bring back youth. Bring back some picks. Bring back a future. Because that's the overlying issue with this team right now and why there's such a feeling of helplessness across the entire organization is because we don't have a ton of picks. We have picks, but we have Cleveland picks. We've right now, I think if it was to end today, the Suns would end with the 30th and the 55th overall pick. That's not horrible. We have a couple draft picks next year. When we waive Vasily Micic and we waive Cody Martin, and that's 2 extra slots, if you will, on our roster. And that's going to combine $16.7 million that we're not going to have to pay out next year. And it's going to get us closer to the second apron. It's not going to get us all the way there. I think we're like $29.7 million over the second apron. So you subtract the 16.7, you add 2 rookie scale contracts on top of that. Now you're about 15 million away. That's why other moves are going to happen if the Suns want to get underneath the second apron, which should be a priority this upcoming offseason. And that's probably one of the reasons why the Kevin Durant trade is something people are talking about. It's an ancillary issue. Kevin Durant, you get rid of him and that contract, you can be under the second apron. But to me, that same logic applies with Bradley Beal. Just shift it over here. And I see a 4th and long. Nobody wants Beal. I know. That's what sucks. But man, you never know what'll happen in the offseason. You never know. That's the only shred of hope I have right now. It's if we could just get off that fucking Beal contract, man. This fucking, oh man. This pod used to have life. Oh, I'm sorry, we're dead now. Well, you can go watch another podcast then that has life and gives you a sense of fulfillment. But hit a like on the way out. Let's talk about, oh, I clicked the wrong button. All right, let's see. Let's look at some other things in the chat. Michael Kolb, question, why can't they play like this every night? Who's to blame? That's the question, right? Everyone wants to blame somebody. Everybody's to blame. Roster construction is a big part of this, in my opinion. Coaching has been subpar. Players have not been bringing the effort consistently and seem disconnected at times. So everyone's to blame. Why can't they play like this every night? Because they're not playing the G League Raptors every night. That's why, Michael. That's the simple answer. Saul, we're all dead inside. LOL. Suns Fever 83. This is our life. Hoo. Let's see what Mark Brooks says. All right. Jerry Colangelo was not perfect, but in the 17 years he owned the Suns, they made the playoffs 4 times. He was the master of the soft rebuild. Is that right? 17 years he owned the Suns, they made the playoffs 4 times. Made the playoffs 14 times. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, he was the master of the soft rebuild. I agree with that. And that's something that, that's the next test for James Jones if he's here next season, is how does he operate a soft rebuild? We've seen him build a team, and he built a team into a team that went to the finals. We saw his owner change hands, come in and say, spend, make it happen, pull every lever possible. So he did that. And that's why, I don't know how much to blame James Jones for the state of the Suns. How much of it is him being volunteered versus voluntold, right? He has connections. He has the people who he knows he can pick up the phone and talk to. So Ishbia is like, do it. So do you blame him for that? Because again, I think from a talent, and Saul says, oh no, John, I'm done with Jones. I guess it depends on what else can you get out there? So if you do move on from Jones, it has to be the first decision. The first decision has to be get rid of James Jones. You don't get rid of James Jones and Mike Budenholzer. You get rid of Jones and then you hire a new general manager and you let him decide what to do with Budenholzer and let the general manager build the organization in his image as much as he can. And that's where I don't have an answer, because I can see Saul's point of view, being done with Jones. A lot of us just feel like there's a stink to this team now. And so that's why you kind of want to just get rid of the stink. You want a clean house. You want to throw some Lysol down, maybe some Mr. Clean, mop it up, and have the next guy come in and be like, hey, now they don't know that this is, a house that was just flipped, and if he investigates a little bit, he'll find something wrong with the AC or something, or there's a hole out back or something's not correct with the electricity. But it's it just depends, I think, on what options exist. Now, everyone's always saying Bob Myers, who obviously is the architect of the Golden State Warriors run. And I don't disagree with that. If you can get Bob Myers in here, I think that'd be fantastic. I really do. But that being said, can you? Saul says, correct. That's what I've been saying, starting with Jones. Let the front office decide how to proceed, coach, roster, etc. Yeah. Mark says, please not Isaiah. I think Isaiah Thomas has his fingerprints all over this organization. I think Isaiah Thomas, remember when Ishbia first took over? And obviously Isaiah Thomas is on the board of directors of his UWM, whatever, United Mortgage Wholesale, UMW. He's around. He has input. And how Isaiah Thomas is what the Suns have done. Isaiah Thomas, when he was the general manager of the New York Knicks, went big game hunting every chance he could. Get me Amari Stoudemire, get me Carmelo Anthony, and none of them were successful. It's exactly what the Suns did, but they did KD and Beal. So hopefully, if that's the case, and that's purely speculation, but if that's the case, Ishbia realizes his folly and be like, oh, IT don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This team that he, behind the scenes, kind of instructed me to build is horrible and getting roasted nightly by national pundits and shitty little podcasts. I got to do something better. 4th and long. Coach Raja Bell for some toughness. I'd like Sam Cassell. If we are going to go a new route, I know there's some names that have been out there. Sam Cassell's the one guy I really like. And I think part of this is a little bias. I was sitting courtside during shoot around when the 76ers were in town this year. And Sam Cassell was right there, and like so was Campaign and Bridges, or not Bridges. There's somebody else on the Sixers who was a former Sun. Oh no, it was the Knicks. Was it Knicks? I don't remember. But I remember him being out there and the way that he was interacting with the players, both on the Suns and on the Sixers. I was like, oh man, this guy, like he has a connectivity to him that, and being a part of the Sixers, being a part of the Celtics, I just think that there's a lot there. So let's real quick keep the comments coming though. I like this. I like having this conversation, and I'm just trying to focus on that positivity. I should read some of the comments that I'm getting over on Twitter. Let's just see real quick, because some of these idiots out here. Let's see. KD got nothing to do with the stands. Don't be weird. No, the stands are the weird ones. KD really has an online cult following. He does, and good for him. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny because KD stands like dissing the podcast too. It's like, I don't listen to that shit anymore. They hate KD so much. I'm like, yeah, okay. Just because we don't always agree with you, it's got to be weird to be like a KD stan or a Booker stan or a LeBron stan, and that's your whole life. And whenever somebody goes against you, fuck you, man. And maybe I'm that way with the Suns. But yeah, let's do some Subreddit. Let's see what Toronto was talking about.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
All right, now this half of this subreddit was just monitoring the 76ers game, who were up huge on the Rockets and ended up losing because the Sixers are a team that the Raptors are watching because they're all kind of fighting for that draft pick, right? To be the sixth spot. Now, obviously, with the lottery, it doesn't matter, which is bullshit, by the way. I'm not a fan of the lottery. Why is basketball the only sport that does a lottery? But that being said, Sixers up right now against the Rockets. Lose tonight, and we at number 6. Damn, dude. Suns really starting 2 third-string level rookies. I mean, Con Gillespie's not a rookie, but we started Dunn and Gillespie. They're like, what? LMAO. Anyone seen Scotty keep touching Durant to piss him off? KD keeps looking to the ref anytime Scotty touches him. LOL. I noticed that at the beginning of the game too. Like Scotty Barnes' whole thing was like, I'm going to be physical early. And Durant would just be walking up the court. He'd just stand in front of him and like push Durant. Durant, like one time just shoved him. He was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I'm just walking up the court. Didn't work. KD won. I have no idea if we're too good or Phoenix is that bad. Yeah, they were. I mean, again, that first quarter, the Suns didn't come out looking great. The Raptors were up 29-24 after the first. So it left an impression on Raptors fans that the Suns are not good, and they're not wrong. Somebody said this one. This is great. If you go to other teams' subreddits, Phoenix may be the most depressing. Somebody responded, bro, it's got to be Dallas. They're a close second, though. And somebody said, you're right, but Dallas looked good when healthy, so there was hope. Yeah, that's why our subreddit is depressing as shit, is because we don't have any hope. And somebody said, my goodness, Phoenix is absolutely terrible. This is funny. Somebody said, Suns fan here, your TV commentators are fantastic. To which somebody replied, Raptors fan here, thanks for whooping our ass tonight. Booker holds a grudge. We have the Raptor to thank for this if we pull out the L. Somebody said, Suns looking way better without KD. Much needed ass whooping to put an end to the play-in, playoff fuckery. I feel that one.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
I feel like the Suns suffer from that play-in, playoff fuckery. Because with this win and Dallas being idle tonight, the Suns are now within 2 games of the play-in. And I just kind of want it to be over. I just kind of want, like, just kill me now. But we'll see. We got the Bulls on Wednesday. Then the gauntlet begins, my friends. The final 12. Ooh, the final 12. Let's see. What else you guys saying over there in the chat? Rodriguez, love this pod. Thanks, guys. I've been feeling a lot of negativity. People online are dissing me, talking shit because I said some pro things about Devin Booker, so therefore I must hate Kevin Durant. Which I've been critical of Durant. I'll own that. I've been critical, but I'm critical of everybody. I mean, that's part of doing a reactionary podcast and part of being a managing editor of Bright Side of the Sun. I'm a fan. I'm critical. And people are just going, you're fucking nobody. I'm like, I'm a nobody. Then why are you commenting on my shit? You know, I clearly struck a chord with you. So thank you for the support, guys. Thanks for, clicking the like button, subscribing, all that stuff, watching us each and every night. It's a labor of love, but it's also, it's a grind. It's an emotional grind. Saul, I think Lissy's celebrating St. Patty's and couldn't make the pod. Cheers. He was actually at the game tonight. He was thinking of maybe popping on. And so if he comes in the pod real quick, we'll hear what the vibe was in there, especially on a night like tonight. That'd be great. Do they ever ask the players who they want to play for? Is that suicide? I'm not sure if I understand that question, but I love you, Keith. I love you hanging out there. Katie is their religion. 100%, Johnny. Katie stands, he says, they're religious zealots. And I've talked with Kevin Durant. He said it, but he said something along those lines to me before, in chats and whatnot. Just like, hey, man, like I can't speak for the stands, and I respect that, but it's like, dude, tell the stands also to chill the fuck out, please. But like, dude, just because people are supporting your teammates and think that, again, I think that there's this understanding that KD stands have come to realize in following him to Phoenix for the past 2.5 years. And that is that Phoenix is Devin Booker's team. If you go to the games, it. When they announce Kevin Durant, there's a fucking huge sound wave that echoes through the arena. And it's multiplied by about like 2.5 when Booker's announced. And there's a reason for that. Phoenix fans who are loyal to the team, not the players, but the team, have watched Devin Booker for 10 years. We've watched him grow from, somebody who we thought would be our Klay Thompson, right? I mean, when we drafted him, we're like, all right, we got Bledsoe. We got Warren. He could play the 3. He could be our Klay Thompson, man. He's a great spot-up shooter. Come around screens. We went through that. We have all the point guards. We have none of the point guards. Devin Booker's the point guard. We need to get him a point guard. Hi, Ricky Rubio. Hey, Sands fans. The bubble, the finals, 64 wins, disappointment, and kind of where we're at right now. There's an emotional connection that KD stands feel for Kevin Durant, that Phoenix Suns fans feel for Booker. And it just pisses the shit out of KD stands. I think it's because they'll never truly know that they're just nomads going from city to city, rooting on one of the greatest players to ever lace them up. One of the most aesthetically appeasing players to watch. Kevin Durant's beautiful to watch, man. Have you ever gone to the game and watched him do warm-up? Every time I go and I cover the game for Bright Side of the Sun, and I'll be there Wednesday, I make sure I'm there to watch Kevin Durant do warm-up because it's beautiful, man. The guy is just so good at basketball. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous to watch him just kind of come out. And he works up, a lather and a sweat because he gets so into it. I mean, man, just saying, guys. KD stands, I get your affection for him as a player, but don't take it out on the fan base where he's at. And Booker stands are out there and they're doing the same thing right now. Booker doesn't deserve Phoenix doesn't deserve Booker and all that shit. Man, the luxury of being somebody who only cares about a player. I've said it before, but man. Must be nice, guys. Must be nice. Fucking nerds.
Jam star of the game.
All right. Jam star. Let's see here. Going through. I know that some of you already started to put David already said Jam star. Roaring Cactus says, oh, so nice. Yeah, Oso Ighodaro had a fantastic game. Keith Nettle says, Jamstar, Katie's bench, chair, and towel. See, some people just don't like Katie. It ain't me, babe, as Bob Dylan once wrote. Mark Brooks says, Booker. David Ray says Booker. Yeah, I go for Booker in this one, man. I mean, what he did in that second quarter is what put the Suns ahead, and then they stayed ahead. Kudos to them. As a team, they stayed ahead for the game. And Saul says Oso and Martin. I'm not gonna argue. I think this was a great game for a lot of players. You also have Colin Gillespie, his first career start, mind you. He only had 3 points. He only had a couple assists. He played only 16 minutes, but he was a disruptor out there. He was causing turnovers. He might not have gotten credit with all the turnovers. In fact, he got credit for absolutely 0 of them, but it was nice. Suns Fever says Royce and Oso. So again, I don't think any of you are wrong for these nominations, if you will. All right, up next for Phoenix. Yep, they are playing the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls, on Wednesday at home. This is tonight. Today was game 1 of a 5-game homestand for Phoenix, and it's nice to have them home. It's nice to have the ability to go down there and see them because the season's going to be over before you know it. I mean, it's a grind, and all of a sudden it's over. But Chicago is a team that's 28-39. They played today at Utah. I assume they win that, so that makes them 29-39, 10th in the Eastern Conference. They've won, if they won tonight, and somebody, can you fact check that for me? Did they beat Utah? I assume they did. But if they did, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of their last 6 games they've won. So a team that's starting to feel themselves a little bit. A team that does have some athleticism. A team that we only beat by 4. Last time we played them. David Ray says Bulls won 117-97 or 111-97. So thank you for that, David. So yeah, it's a team that's they're feeling okay. They're fighting. They're trying to stave off people, and by people I mean the Toronto Raptors. They're trying to stay relevant, and Lonzo Ball's day to day, and Josh Giddey's day to day. Both of them didn't play on Saturday against the Rockets. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see with this one. I don't know what it's the same thing with Toronto. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't expect a 40-point fucking drubbing, and I'll take it. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's all we'll do for today. If you're a listener of the podcast, go ahead and subscribe, rate, review, and know that we have a jam session short that will be coming out. I think maybe I'll run that after Wednesday. I don't know. But again, that's the advantage of listening to the pod versus always just watching it. If you listen to the podcast as well, I release jam session shorts, about 20-minute pods with some other information there and other points of view. So, again, appreciate your support. Appreciate your positive. We needed a positive victory. We needed a positive day. I think I've come on here plenty as of late and just kind of in a grumpy mood. And this is one where, again, I feel a little grumpiness because I'm on the socials a little too much, but knowing that, you listen, you watch, you support, you know who I am and what I stand for, I appreciate that, from a human level. Truly appreciate that from my fellow Jamsters. So on that note, have a fantastic evening. Top of the morning to you and bottom of the ninth. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. I hope you did. Everyone was Irish today. Hope you had yourself a Guinness, had a little corned beef, maybe a little bit of cabbage. And above all, make sure you went home and you loved your family.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session Podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.